Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my F1 23 MyTeam career mode. This is part 22 of the series at Spain. If you did miss part 21, it was around Monaco and it was our second career victory for ourselves. Coming from P16 on the grid actually to claim victory in a place where it's generally very hard to overtake. The pit strategy definitely got the win for us on that one. It was a very interesting top 10 as well as the safety car shook everything up and it was the first podium for Yuki Tsunoda as well, so please make sure to go and check that one out if you have not yet already. And as we take a look now at the performance charts, it's very close at the top between Aston Martin, McLaren, the Red Bull, the Ferrari. There's a lot of teams already up there. The Mercedes as well is also up there, and you can see that we've been making massive gains in our R&D, and we've put ourselves well and truly up into the midfield of the performance charts, so hoping to become a very regular point scorer for the remainder of the season. There's roughly about half a season left to go. I reckon in about 2 episodes time it's going to be half a season to go as we now head straight to practice. This is going to be our race strategy program actually, and straight off the bat we've got the pace to get a purple practice program done and dusted. And then fuel, even on the fuel, I'm usually not too bad. Usually I can get it into the greens, but it's pretty rare I get it purple straight off the bat, and so everything's looking actually pretty promising at the moment for ourselves. And even now going into a qualifying sim, we're going to get it into the green, which is pretty good considering we usually get it into the red. So definitely looking like we've got some half decent pace around here at the moment, hoping that the weather can stay clear at the moment, as we did top practice 1 by 6/10, nearly 7/10 of a second. I'm guessing we were the only ones to do a qualifying sim. Lando Norris and George Russell also were up there in the top 3, and Alex Albon in P12. So looking like our car doesn't have too bad of a pace at the moment, but hopefully Alex Albon can use that pace to try and get himself some first career points. Not first career points, but first points for us in this race, as well as we now go into qualifying and coming to the end of our first flying lap. We actually managed to go fastest, which was very good to see. And now onto our next flying lap. We ran a little bit wide. We were on course to pretty much replicate the lap that we did, but running that little bit wide definitely slows us down, and we did not be able to set a faster lap. So we ended up finishing P6. Lando Norris topped qualifying 1, and Alex Albon does make it through to Q2 as we now go on to our next lap. And I actually abandoned the first lap and made a couple of little mistakes. I decided to build up and go for another lap, and we actually spin it going through turn 3. So going through turns 1 and 2, I wasn't on the optimal line, and that kind of put me on a weird line going into turn 3, and I lost the rear end trying to keep it flat out. And then we do end up setting a lap, which is only good enough for P10, but we're going to have to go out and go again. And now, what's this lap going to hold for us? P2, a 10th down on Lando Norris. So that has definitely helped us get into Q3. And so there it is, Lando Norris tops the session. We're a 10th behind, George Russell P3. But unfortunately for Alex Albon, he finishes P15. So he finished about 7/10 of a second off from getting into Q3. So definitely did not have the pace this time around. So maybe just once off in practice, as now our first flying lap of the session puts us P3, and we've stayed P3 for most of this session at the moment, as we now just get across the line to be able to start our next final flying lap. And now, as we head into turn 4, on the exit of turn 4, we're going to run very wide, put us into the gravel, and that's going to be our qualifying done. And as you can see there, we dropped all the way down to P6. So the top 3 in Q3 was Norris, Hamilton, George Russell. We find ourselves P6, and the special mention actually to Valtteri Bottas in the Sauber, and also to Kevin Magnussen in the Haas, 2 cars that really aren't top 10 contenders.
Welcome along everyone to sunny Spain, specifically to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. So many great moments in Formula One history have been written at this very track over the years, including Michael Schumacher's first win for Ferrari back in '96. That win was in the rain. We might have better weather here today, but we're just as overjoyed to be at the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector, shortening lap times and reducing the total running to 2.9 miles and 14 turns. This was actually the original setup for the track, but it hasn't been used since 2007. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Sainz, Perez, the Rainmaster, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Leclerc, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Sargent, Liam Lawson, Albon, Joe, Gasly, Ocon, Iwasa, Stroll, Tsunoda, and Nick de Vries. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. Let's talk about the Rainmaster. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Alrighty, and here we are on the grid for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. Strategy-wise, definitely going to be sticking with the default strategy, going for the medium to the hard tyre compound. And as we now get ready to start our formation lap, I reckon with the cars that are around us, I don't think we've got the pace to really be gaining any positions, but definitely want to try and maintain position at the very least, because I do not want to be finishing behind the likes of Nico Hulkenberg or even Valtteri Bottas in that Sauber behind us as we now start to line up onto the grid. It's a bit far back. It was still purple, but it's a bit far back, 0.5 behind the line. So hopefully we can still get ourselves a decent start as the lights start to illuminate and it's lights out and we're off. Carlos Sainz's absolute shocking start, and so now it's immediately 3 wide between Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez and ourselves, and we're now tucked in the slipstream of George Russell and Lando Norris. They're trying to help us get past the likes of Sergio Perez, and we're going to give him a bit of a squeeze going to turn 2 to try and secure this P4. So immediately up into P4, the top 3 is Hamilton, Norris and Russell. So Lando Norris has lost a position to Lewis Hamilton off the start of this race, so definitely a disappointing start for the McLaren driver. As now, looking further into the lap, this is Charles Leclerc being overtaken by Oscar Piastri, who started a lot further back than when he really should have. So Piastri is definitely trying to make his way back up through the field, so and very quickly doing so, making his way past Charles Leclerc. As now, going on to lap 3, this is Oscar Piastri making yet another overtake, and this is him getting past Nico Hulkenberg. So he's making very quick progress on these soft tyres to get himself through the field. As now, to our POV, this is Carlos Sainz. He's making a dive bomb on us, going to turn 4. We give him the space, not wanting to get any damage this early on into the race, and he's actually given us a little bit of a wheel tap, so a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact going through the exit of turn 4 into turn 5, and we're going to stay side by side, but I'm going to try and give him a bit of a squeeze here going through 7 and 8, because I don't really want to be going side by side through there, but luckily he pulls out of it. But now just going onto the next lap down the main straight with the aid of DRS, which has now finally been activated. He's just going to breeze past us, and you saw there on our top left, this is Oscar Piastri. He's made an overtake on Sergio Perez, and so now he's going to be the car directly behind us. So we've got some big issues. We don't really want to be trying to let him go through too much. And now this is Lando Norris making a move on Lewis Hamilton. So Lando Norris has taken the lead back once again of this Grand Prix on lap 9. And now this is going to be a bit of a DRS game for a little bit, as now Lewis Hamilton is getting back past Lando Norris, going down into turn 1. They're going to stay side by side though, going into turn 3, but it is going to be Lewis Hamilton who's going to stay ahead and get the lead back. And then going on to lap 11, Lando Norris with the power of DRS, and George Russell behind's got DRS as well, so this could very quickly turn into a 3-car battle for the lead. Lando Norris has retaken the lead of the race. So very big stuff here, and we're going to actually do an order check now after the first 10 laps. So it's Norris, Hamilton, George Russell, your top 3. Carlos Sainz, and then ourselves in P5, and we're defending from Oscar Piastri. Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Nico Hulkenberg, and Max Verstappen round out the top 10 as it stands at the moment. Kevin Magnussen, P11, Valtteri Bottas, P12, Stroll, Lawson, Gasly, Zhou. Our teammate Alex Albon, he's down in P17 at the moment, so not very good at the moment. I was kind of hoping to be able to gain a few positions from P16, but he's actually lost a position since the start of the race. Logan Sargent in P18. He actually had a really good race start. At one point, he was P10 in the points. And then it's Ocon, Iwasa, then the two AlphaTauris of Sonoda and DeVries rounding out the field. And now this is Lewis Hamilton. He's looking like he's going to be wanting to try and make a move on Lando Norris, and he's going to make it stick. So yeah, another lead change in this race as now we're under attack from Oscar Piastri with the power of DRS. But we're also rapidly catching Carlos Sainz, so we're going to pull out to the outside and sweep across the front of Carlos Sainz. And it looks like Sainz and Piastri are going to be continuing to battle along, going side by side. But it looks like that Oscar Piastri may have just got him. And this is now the onboard from Charles Leclerc. He was getting past one of the Rebels at the time. And now up ahead, you can see them two battling. And it is indeed Oscar Piastri who's maintained position over Carlos Sainz. And this is now Max Verstappen getting past Nico Hülkenberg to take another position. And at the same time, Sergio Perez is getting back by Charles Leclerc. So it was Perez that Leclerc overtook on the previous lap. As now Max Verstappen's going to have to finish the move going through turn 3. As now we take another look going ahead. This is Charles Leclerc wanting to get back by Sergio Perez. So these two could be very well battling for quite a while, and at the same time losing time to Carlos Sainz. As now back to our POV. We're currently going through a green flag, so the end of the yellow flag behind us. So I'm waiting to figure out who that could possibly be. There goes the two Red Bulls and the Aston Martin, so I reckon it could be Charles Leclerc. There it is. Charles Leclerc confirmed out of the race. So I'm going to have to figure out what happened there. And now on board with Charles Leclerc. There it is. He's had a bit of a wiggle, so I reckon there it is. Engine failure for the Ferrari. So not good news for any of the Ferrari-powered cars. A few of them are around the top 10 at the moment. And here is another lead change. And this is going to be Lando Norris getting the lead back off Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton did try to put up a bit of a fight to keep the lead for a second there. And then you saw there as well, the pit stop phase has started and now going on to lap 16, starting lap 17. We're going to come into the pits as well as Lewis Hamilton and Lando Norris. So I wonder if we could possibly try and gain a little bit of time on them here and see if we can make any progress up through the field. Remember, we came into the pits in P4, I reckon it was, as Carlos Sainz has actually continued. And Oscar Piastri sets the fastest lap of the race, so he's definitely already come into the pits because he was behind us, so he's jumped us massively in this first pit stop phase. As we're heading now into turn 1, we're going to come out alongside Max Verstappen, and he's going to do a little bit of a cutback. And he's actually going to get the position off of us. And so we get a bit of dirty air, and we're going to run quite a bit wide, actually. So a mixture of cold tyres and dirty air pushes us wide, and we're going to lose touch a little bit with Max Verstappen not being able to get DRS. But here's Carlos Sainz. He was behind us when we came into the pits and then went out for an extra lap. And we're going to sweep around the outside of turn 1 and down in the bottom corner. And this is an overtake. This is Stroll getting past Bottas for the final points paying position as it stands at the moment. So good overtake there from Stroll in the Aston Martin. As now Carlos Sainz actually seems pretty keen to get back by us pretty quickly. He's going to go to our outside at turn 5, but we're going to keep it up the inside and manage to just give him a little bit of a squeeze out. So we're going to maintain the position for now. As this is Lando Norris. He's now getting past Oscar Piastri, so maybe Piastri's tyres are starting to fade just a little bit, trying to make a very long second stint in a one-stop race. And now this is Kevin Magnussen making an overtake on Stroll to get the final points paying position at the moment. Now this is actually Oscar Piastri getting back by Lando Norris, so he is not taking any team orders whatsoever. I would imagine McLaren would definitely want Lando Norris to be ahead of Oscar at the moment, but Oscar on those medium tyres has made the move on Lando Norris to get P2 at the moment, and now Lewis Hamilton is going to be attacking Lando Norris, so Norris has become quite vulnerable now. He's dropped off the back of Oscar Piastri, and Lewis Hamilton's going to be taking full advantage of that, and even now, Oscar Piastri down the main straight gave Hamilton a little bit of a tow, and that's definitely going to help Hamilton make this overtake on Lando Norris, and he will make the move stick on the exit of turn 2. And now, fast forwarding just a little bit, this is now Lewis Hamilton. He's on fire at the moment, making the overtake on Oscar Piastri extremely quickly as well. So it's now a Mercedes 1-2 for ourselves. We're up the back of Max Verstappen now. We're actually not going to take the opportunity to make the move at turn 10 with the DRS. We're going to stick back at the moment because I had a feeling that Max Verstappen would probably just immediately overtake us again. going down the main straight. So we're going to hang back a little bit, try and get ourselves a pretty good run coming out of turn 16. Well, what used to be turn 16, actually, sorry. And now going down the main straight with the power DRS, we're going to breeze past Max Verstappen, and it is going to be one of the easiest overtakes of the season by far. But Carlos Sainz is actually now battling Max Verstappen, and he's going to make the overtake stick as well. So in the course of only a few corners, Max Verstappen's lost 2 positions. And now Lando Norris has caught back up to the back of Oscar Piastri, and he's going to be making an overtake to get himself back on the podium, which he successfully does, actually. And Lewis Hamilton now is going for the lead of the race, so the 2 Mercedes battling it out for the lead of this motor race. Lewis Hamilton does take the lead of the race at the moment, as now we've caught up to Oscar Piastri, so I wonder if his tyres are really fading off now. Those medium tyres he's been on for ages. He would probably be close to a 20-lap stint, I would imagine. It was about lap 14 or so he came into the pit, so by the end of the race, definitely very close to a 20-lap stint. And so now coming out of the last corner, we're going to use the DRS to get ourselves past Oscar Piastri. But behind us, if you can see there, Max Verstappen is making the move on Carlos Sainz as well. And could this possibly be a double overtake there for Max Verstappen? We're so busy looking behind us, we actually missed the apex for turn 1. But this is a replay of what Max Verstappen saw going down the main straight. So he's overtaken Carlos Sainz. And for a second there, it does look like he's going to be sending a dive bomb on Oscar Piastri, but he just covers off Carlos and sits behind Oscar, so he's definitely going to be wanting to get past Oscar Piastri with how slow he is at the moment. And Piastri actually runs wide at turn 5, which gives Max Verstappen a chance to look up the inside as they go through the little kink of turn 6, but more importantly, can he send it up the inside at turn 7? And somehow, Oscar Piastri's actually hung it around the outside, so by the time they get to turn 9, he's back in front of Max Verstappen. But now going down this DRS back straight and going into turn 10, they're going to go 3 wide. Verstappen on the inside, Carlos on the outside. Carlos is going to swing down to the inside to try and get a crisscross move going. But Max Verstappen is going to get past Oscar Piastri, and Carlos is going to sit behind just for now. But I would imagine Carlos is going to be making a move back on Oscar Piastri very quickly, as Max Verstappen's actually legged it. He's already got half a second over Oscar Piastri, as now Carlos Sainz moves out of the DRS and to try and get past Max Verstappen. But Max Verstappen's quite slow without the power DRS, actually. So it's going to go 3 wide into turn 1, and Max Verstappen's actually going to lose out to both Carlos Sainz and Oscar Piastri. And Carlos does get the move done on Piastri as well. So Piastri kind of maintains position, but Carlos somehow manages to make 2 positions there. As now Max Verstappen is finally making the move on Oscar Piastri, going around the outside at turn 10, which will give him the inside at turn 11. So a very nicely done move by Max Verstappen to finally get him past Oscar Piastri. And now, while all of that was happening, this is Stroll trying to get past the likes of Kevin Magnussen in that Haas, and Kevin didn't make it easy for him, but going into turn 3, Stroll was very easily able to get back by, as now Sergio Perez is making a near identical move that his teammate did on Oscar Piastri, and Sergio's going to go around the outside, and he's actually going to get the move done before they even make it to turn 12. So a very nicely done move indeed. And now back to the lead of the race, George Russell is going to claim victory here in Spain. Lewis Hamilton will take second, Lando Norris will take third. For ourselves, we're going to settle with P4, so very good going up a couple of positions from where we started. So definitely a lot better than what I was expecting to do. So very good race for us indeed. Lots of battling. So a very enjoyable race from behind the wheel. So hopefully that was a very good watch for everyone else as well. So Max Verstappen claims driver of the day.
Team effort then, which has paid off in spades. A great victory here at the Spanish Grand Prix. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there we have it. The Spanish Grand Prix is done and dusted for Season 2 of the F1 23 MyTeam career mode. It was a 4th career win for George Russell, so he's starting to rack up those wins pretty quickly. And Mercedes won too as well, so it's been a while since we've seen that. And it was a P4 for ourselves as well, so a very good race for us. I was hoping to try and catch up to Lando Norris because we were kind of holding the gap for a while, but Lando just kind of kicked it into another gear and he was able to extend that gap. And as we take a look at the rest of the top 10, so ourselves P4, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, very good to get himself into P6 considering he was outside the top 10 for a bit. Sergio Perez, then Oscar Piastri ended up finishing P8, so he dropped down quite a lot from where he was, so that strategy didn't quite work out for him. Nico Hulkenberg and Stroll round out the top 10 and us, and for Alex Albon, unfortunately, they're down in P16, so not really a good race for him. Lando Norris, is currently leading the championship by 14 points over George Russell. We find ourselves P4 behind Leclerc by only 2 points, so we could definitely try and make something work out of this and try and get ourselves into the top 3. McLaren lead the constructors by 16 points over Mercedes, and then Brabham, we find ourselves 30 points behind Red Bull, so it will be interesting to see how far we can get ourselves up into the championship, as now we find ourselves back into the HQ. We're going to be advancing the time quite a bit here. And we're actually got an event here for the marketing department, and we're actually going to be reaping our rewards here. And it turns out Alex Albon was actually very successful in the esports event that we sent him off to, as now just getting ourselves ready to go towards the Canadian Grand Prix, which will be part 23 of this series. You'll see here our slot gap for the DRS to try and improve our straight line speed has actually failed. So unfortunately, that's not going to be ready for the Canadian Grand Prix, which would have come in very handy with that very big DRS straight going down the back, as we now actually reattempt that one. So hopefully by the time we get to round 8 of the series, well, in Season 2, that we can have that one fixed. So that will be all for this episode. So if you did enjoy it, please make sure to like and subscribe. It does mean a lot. And I'll see you in part 22. See ya.